Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am here crafting as part of the Fab 5 and today we are celebrating our second birthday, which is super exciting, although I thought we'd been doing this a little bit longer. If you're familiar with these hops, then you know that we use a mix of old and new Lawn Fawn sets when creating our cards so that you can be inspired by the new things you've recently added to your stash and things that you've probably had for a little while and haven't seen much love in a long time. So here are the stamp sets that I'll be using today. For my old, this is one that I reach for all the time. I am using Baked with Love. I feel like you can't go wrong with this one. It goes with so many of the other sets and it is just too cute. Another older set that I am using is the Perfectly Wicked, and that is because I am going with a spooky themed birthday card for our second birthday, and with it being so close to Halloween. So you've probably seen it in the thumbnail already, but I am going to be using this cute little cauldron instead of a mixing bowl, and instead of kitty cats I'll be using one of the new sets. So my new for this card will be the Sweet Spiders and the Sweet Spiders add-on. I'm thinking of going with traditional Halloween colors for this one, and I'm ready to get started. Now just then, as I was going through my stash to get my large stitch rectangle for my background, I came across this die that I haven't seen in a while, and it's the one I've used to make Polaroid looking cards in the past, and I'm feeling a little bit inspired. I'm going to pivot with my original plan and change to this one, I think. I haven't made a shaker card in, I don't want to say years, but I have an awful feeling it might be close to more than a year, and I'm really hoping I have Halloween pieces. Knowing me, I do have Halloween shaker pieces somewhere. I just don't remember where I might have put them, but I'm going to look for them, and I am set on making a shaker card with this die. Okay, so I got a little bit distracted going through my craft stashes, and I did find just a few things. I've got these little sequins, not sure if I'll use them. I swear I've had more sequins packs, but goodness me, it's been a while since I've been very into crafting and I'm really having trouble finding my stuff. But these ones are a little bit cute. There's some little ghosts in there. There's some orange, black and white. I've also got these wobbly eyes, which I think are so much fun, and they might look cute in the back of a shaker too, because it will not be thick enough where these can roll over and show the back, so they'll stay in place nicely. I also have these that I found, which are just some sparkles, and I'm thinking I might add some of them too. But first, I don't want a plain white background. I do a lot of plain white backgrounds, but I did want to mix it up just a little bit, and I'm not going too crazy with mixing it up. I wish I could think of something else that would maybe, okay. I might ink this background. Should I ink the background? We might ink the background. Actually, yes, we'll ink this background. We'll make it look a little bit prettier than a plain white cardstock. I wasn't planning on inking, but I think it'll look really good in this one. Let's give it a go. Okay, so I've brought in a couple more colors to blend this background. It's not impossible to do the purple to orange. You'll probably see it on a lot of Halloween cards and it looks really, really pretty. It just does take a little bit of work in the center to get the blend, I guess, nice and smooth. I did bring a little bit of yellow as well. I'm not sure if I'll use it along the very bottom. We'll just have a look and see. I might just make a very little mark on my paper here, just so I can see where the background ends, so that I have a fair idea of which parts will be seen once this is stuck together. Okay, so like I just mentioned, I am just going to very quickly mark just the ends there. Okay, and I might start with the purples first. I haven't done a big inky background in a little while, and I really love them. I do miss doing them. I'm very excited to do this one. To get a smoother gradient between these colors, I will probably go back up over it like this. You can still see that it is darker than the seedless preserves that I'm using, but it just gives it a far more seamless blend. I feel like the trick with a blended background like this is to just keep up with the back and forth until you feel like the parts where they join are looking as seamless as they can get. And then just to tidy it up at the bottom, I am going to go in with that yellow. At least if I don't like it, we won't see much of it, because I am planning on probably putting a piece of cardstock down for a bench for this little scene. So there we have our background. Now to have a little bit more fun with it. So I am a big fan of using Distress Oxide inks because of the way they oxidize with water. So I am going to do some flicks of just plain water here, and I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to keep refilling my paintbrush here because I like that the little flecks of water get smaller and smaller the longer you do it. I am not going to blot the paper because I do quite like leaving it there. I know that you can see more of the white cardstock coming through, but I prefer to leave it this way. I'm going to give that just a little minute to dry, and then I'm going to add some of my gold watercolor pigments as well, just for a little bit of sparkle. I do like to keep it fairly thick. And there we have it. So that is our background. I am just going to set it aside to give it a good amount of time to dry while we work on the other elements of this card. Now I've also just gone back through my stash and grabbed my Fantastic Friends for a 5th spider. And the reason I need 5 spiders is because I want one for each of us from the Fab 5 hop. So while I've got all my ink out and my stamps, I'm going to stamp my sentiment early this time. And this will be pretty helpful because this is going to be part of a shaker later and it's going to be a little bit trickier to stamp onto that once it's finished. So the sentiment I'm going with today, I'm going to take it from that Baked with Love stamp set again. I'm going to pop Have a Sweet Birthday. You can tell this one's been used quite a few times. So Have a Sweet Birthday, and then I thought this one was really cute. I'm glad we met on the web, and if you don't know, I don't believe any of us in the Fab 5 live anywhere near each other. I'd have to check with the other girls to see if any of them are within visiting distance, but with me being on the other side of the planet, I definitely don't get to see them, but we do chat quite often and we do get to do these amazing hops together. So I think that is pretty fitting. I think that is really cute there. Now for this next part, I thought I might do a spider web on my background, but I just want to have a look at where it will look best. I'm going to get out this enormous spider web stamp very carefully, and I'm just going to have a little play with where I think that might work. Maybe somewhere like, as I will have a few other things in the foreground here. Now the next thing is, what color do I do it? I'm thinking my safest bet would be white. I might just use a white ink rather than embossing, because if you've been here for a while, you know embossing is not my favorite. I love the effect. It is the most beautiful effect, but getting all the tools out for it for every card gets a little tiresome. And I didn't go ahead with embossing my sentiment, so I think we'll leave the embossing tools away for now. This will be very subtle on this background, but I think it's exactly what I need. So what I'm going to do to line this up is just pick up my stamp, and then I'm going to remove this, and then we should be in the right place. Oh, that is a little bit cute. Now, I love how that looks so much. I might line another one up there just to fill in a little more of that background. Okay, so one final step with this is to trim out this cross section here. There we go. So I think that is going to look very cute once it all comes together. Now it's time for coloring. Okay, so here are all the colors I have today that I'm planning on using. There is quite a lot there, and if I'm being honest, I don't know how I'm going to lay out everything just yet. So I think I'm going to color everything first, cut it all out, and then play around with the placement of everything. And so while I get started on coloring, now is the perfect time to talk about the Fab 5 hop. So if you're unfamiliar with this hop, it is a group of 5 crafters. We're all on the smaller side of the subscriber count on YouTube. I have just reached 3,500 followers, which is very, very exciting. I have been working on this YouTube channel on and off for about the last, I'd say, oh gosh, nearly 5 years. In April next year will be 5 years since my daughter turned about 12 weeks old, and it has been a lot of fun. But I do get very distracted with other crafty projects or other creative work, but I always find myself coming back here. It is a lot of fun, and I do love crafting. It does help me take my mind off a lot of other things. I feel like all of my crafty outlets are a bit of an escape, and I'm sure a lot of you can probably relate to that. I'm so lucky to have found the other crafters in the Fab 5 hop. They're very talented, very deserving of your likes and follows if you'd like to check them out too. We're very lucky today. Lawn Fawn has once again sponsored this hop, so we have a $25 Lawn Fawn voucher to give away, and all you have to do to go in the draw is comment below. You can literally comment anything you like. I always like to ask where people are watching from, but you don't have to answer that if you don't feel like it. You can just say hello, and that'll count too. I do get very distracted while I'm coloring. I always think it's the perfect time to talk, but it's really not. So we are at the first stop of the hop here, but you might have come from another channel, and that's okay too. In the description box below, you will find all the links to the other stops on this hop. And if you go to all of them and comment anything in their comment section as well, then they all count as entries into our draw. So make sure you do that after watching this video. So the winner for this giveaway will be announced on October 14th, 2024. And after that, they will have 1 week to collect their prize. I love that this spider's a little smaller, and I'm wondering if he was the one from that other set. That might be me, although I don't know how tall the other girls are. I'm very, very, very short, so maybe this little tiny one can be me. Okay, I am just going to focus on my colouring for a bit because I do kind of just float away when I'm doing this part. And I will talk to you on the other side. While I'm colouring in this candy corn, I'd love to know, are you a fan of candy corn? I know that a lot of people like to purely use it as decoration. I don't blame them. I have tried it. It's unusual. I can't say we've got a candy in Australia that is anything like candy corn. I really do feel like it's got the texture of maybe a candle wax or something. It's a bit odd to eat and just very, very sweet. So I'd love to know, do you actually enjoy it, or do you just like the fact that it, you know, screams Halloween? I feel like if it wasn't so expensive here, I would use it for decorations. I mean, it probably could last. If I bought one bag, I could probably put it away and use it again another year. I'm pretty sure it's just sugar and nothing would happen to it, but I'd love to know. Okay, those spiders are looking very cute, and now I'm going to colour in all my other little accessories, and I really can't wait to start working out where I'm going to place them all. Don't know what color to do this stand. I have a really cute orange stand in my kitchen right now, and I think that looks really cute, but then I wonder if the icing on the cupcakes will be too similar to it, and then I thought maybe I'll do brown, but then the wrappers of the cupcakes will be brown. I'm just not sure. Maybe I could do a white stand. Let's just see how this goes. Now that I've done this kind of white, I'm thinking I might do the same for the mixer as well, just so that they match and so that they're not detracting too much attention from what's going on in the foreground. Okay, now I'm going to add some white highlights to my coloured images. Because so many of these little ones are so small, I'll be using my 05 quite a lot. now that all those white highlights are done, I'm going to fussy cut all of these out. Okay, so what I'm thinking of doing is adding just a bit of white behind this so that it's kind of like a bench, and that way I can just extend my scene a little higher because I don't want everything to be too crowded right down the bottom above the sentiment. So I'm thinking maybe about there. And what I'm also going to do now is add my double-sided tape strips to the back of this. So what I have done here, after many mistakes, I have placed some vellum on the back of this piece, and I've also done my foam strips on the sides to hold all of my shaker pieces in just a minute. Now what I'm going to do is decide which of my pieces are going to be on the inside of the shaker and which are going to be on the outside to give it some dimension. There we go, our 2 little candles for our second birthday. I'm thinking this little spider could go just about anywhere on that web in the background. And maybe one would be cute with these cupcakes. I am just making sure that they are stuck down pretty well because I don't want any of my shaker pieces to get caught on them when they're moving around. And I am just constantly checking with this front piece to make sure that everything is visible and I'm not adding too many things in one spot. Now I am going to add a little spider here, but I'm going to add them on the outside of that acetate. I'm going to stick her down there. I think one of our Sour Patch flies has escaped. Now I know I do want the cauldron in the middle, so I am going to stick that down. I'm just not yet sure what I'm going to place around it or how I'm going to place everything around it. I think I might add some more of these over here. Okay, I think I'm getting fairly happy with the placement of all of these. I think that is looking very cute. I am going to add these little candy corn just kind of everywhere to tie everything together. I think maybe our spider up the back can be holding one too. Maybe one there. Okay, so what I need to do next is run over everything with my anti-static powder so that my shaker pieces don't get stuck. And for that I'm going to do the inside of this as well, just so that my pieces won't get stuck on any sneaky little bits of this foam tape that are sticky and exposed in this area. I do also very lightly run it over my acetate as well, just so that my pieces won't get static and stuck to it. Okay, let's choose our shaker pieces now. Before we give this a good shake, I'm going to flip it over and add some double-sided tape to the back so that we can adhere all of this to a card base. Okay, there we have it. That is my project for the Fab 5 Double Trouble Hop. I hope you've enjoyed it. Oh, I just love those wobbly eyes. I'm just going to play with it a bit more. I hope you've enjoyed this stop on the hop and that you will hop along to the next stop and all the others. Good luck if you enter the draw for the $25 gift voucher. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.